All right, so you've done all the heavy lifting. You've crunched the numbers, you've gathered the insights. Now what? Well, now it's time to build something that actually gives your work the powerful voice it deserves. And that something is the research report. So let's dive in.
And that's the big question, isn't it? It can feel a little intimidating. You've got all this amazing, valuable information, but how in the world do you package it so it's clear, credible, and actually makes an impact? Here's how I want you to think about it. You're not a writer, you're an architect. And every great architect needs a solid blueprint to build something that's going to last.
So, first things first. Every great structure starts with a solid foundation. So before we can build anything, we need to understand our blueprint.
So, what is a research report at its core? It's not just a quick summary of facts. It's a formal, super detailed document. Think of it as the official story of your entire research journey, from how you started to what you found, and maybe most importantly, what it all means. This is how you communicate the real value of what you've done. Here it is. This is the standard blueprint, the basic anatomy of almost any solid report. It takes your reader on a logical journey. You grab them with a great title, walk them through how you did what you did, show them the results, and then you wrap it all up with a strong conclusion and your references. Every single one of these is a critical building block. Okay, our foundation is set. Now it's time to put up the core pillars. These are the big picture principles that are going to hold this whole thing up and make it strong, structured, and totally trustworthy. And you can really boil it all down to 3 essential pillars. If you get these 3 things right, your report is going to be rock solid. Let's take a look at the first one. Our first pillar is clarity and logic. This is all about just making your work easy to understand. I mean, think about it. Your ideas could be completely revolutionary, but if nobody can follow your train of thought, all that impact is just lost. So how do we make that happen? Well, it starts with using language that's really clear and formal. It means making sure there's a logical flow, where your introduction perfectly sets up your methods, which then leads right into your results. Each piece has to connect, basically guiding your reader by the hand from one point to the next. Okay, let's move on to our second pillar, and this one is absolutely crucial. We're talking about integrity and accuracy. This is the very bedrock of your report's credibility. It's what makes people actually trust what you have to say. All of these elements really work together. Accurate data, that's a given. It's non-negotiable. But so is an objective tone. Your report has to be based on hard evidence, not on your personal feelings or opinions. And this is a big one. You have to give credit where it's due. Citing your sources properly isn't just about avoiding plagiarism. It shows you've done your homework. And that brings us to our third and final pillar, completeness and professionalism. This is what takes to report from just done to done right. It's the final polish that makes the whole structure feel finished and authoritative. So completeness means making sure all those essential sections from our blueprint are there. It also means staying focused, no tangents. Every single thing in the report should be relevant. And please, never ever underestimate the power of professionalism. Things like consistent formatting, clean charts, and a good proofread make a world of difference. It sends a signal to your reader that this work is serious and it deserves their attention. So we have our foundation, and we've got our pillars holding things up. Now let's stock your toolkit with the actual practical tools you're going to need to do the work. These are the things that bring all those principles to life. Let's start with your most important tool, and that's your language. This quote really says it all. The way you write is just as important as what you're writing about. That professional, objective tone is what gets you taken seriously.
There is a world of difference between saying, "I feel like the data shows," and saying, "the data indicates." See that? One is a personal opinion, the other is an evidence-based statement. That simple little shift completely changes how authoritative your report sounds. It's not about sounding like a robot, it's about being precise and letting the evidence do the talking.
Next up in the toolkit, and this one is a powerhouse, visualization. I'm talking charts, graphs, tables, and they are not just there to make your report look pretty. They are absolutely essential for making complicated data easy to understand in a snap.
For example, I could spend a whole paragraph trying to describe the different response rates between these groups, or I could just show you this bar chart. You get the main idea in what, 2 seconds? That's the power of a good visual. It clarifies your findings instantly.
To round out the toolkit, let's hit a few final essentials. Think of clear headings as signposts that guide your reader. Remember that every single claim you make needs to be backed up by hard evidence. Proper referencing, that's your credibility insurance.
And meticulous proofreading? Seriously, whatever you do, do not skip this step. It's your final quality control.
Okay, the structure is built, the finishings are on. It's time for one last look around, the final inspection, to really see what we've created and understand why all of this matters so much.
And really, this is the ultimate takeaway. A weak report, one that's just thrown together without a plan, ends up hiding all the brilliant research inside it. It's like a disservice to your own work. But a strong report, one built on clarity, integrity, and professionalism, it does the exact opposite. It amplifies your work. It makes sure your powerful research gets the impactful voice it truly deserves.
So as you sit down to write, just ask yourself this one question. You've already done the hard part. You've uncovered something new. Now, is your story ready to be told? By following these principles, you can make sure your report doesn't just list your findings, but it tells a story that is clear, convincing, and ready to make a real impact.